So then guys, here we are, just days away from what could genuinely turn out to be one of the most important and game-changing launches in Apple's entire wearable history, because September 2025 is shaping up to be absolutely packed and loaded, with announcements that are going to define the next era of Apple technology, and at the center of this excitement sits the Apple Watch Series 11. Not only do we have the iPhone 17 lineup expected to arrive with huge hardware and software changes, but also side by side, Apple is ready to reveal the Apple Watch SE 3rd generation as a budget-friendly option and the rugged, adventure-focused Apple Watch Ultra 3 for hardcore outdoor users. But in this deep dive, we're going to home in entirely on the Apple Watch Series 11, because this is the model that will sit at the very heart of Apple's smartwatch family, the device that millions of people across the globe will actually buy and use daily, and the one that is expected to shape the future of the Apple Watch experience for years to come. With supply chain leaks, insider whispers, analyst predictions, and credible reports all pointing in the same direction, the Series 11 is lining up to be the single biggest leap forward in Apple's smartwatch category since the groundbreaking Series 4 way back in 2018, the model that first introduced ECG and really pushed health innovation into the mainstream. Now, before we start unpacking every new upgrade and rumored feature that's coming, let's rewind quickly and set the stage by looking at where we are right now and what Apple delivered with the Series 10 in 2024. Because understanding what the Series 10 did well and where it disappointed is the perfect lens through which to see why the Series 11 matters so much. The Apple Watch Series 10 was essentially Apple's way of celebrating a decade of wearable dominance. And it did this by going all in on design. Apple gave us a brand new, slimmer chassis that was about 10% thinner than the previous generation, and perhaps most impressively, the larger 46mm variant came with a display so big that it actually surpassed the screen real estate of the Apple Watch Ultra 2, which was supposed to be the king of big displays. This was a jaw-dropping moment, because for the first time, the mainline Apple Watch was outshining the Ultra in terms of screen size and usability, making apps, notifications, and complications feel more immersive than ever before. On top of that, Apple introduced a titanium finish option, elevating durability and luxury appeal. But here's the catch. While the Series 10 delivered those beautiful design refinements and gave us a watch that felt sleeker and more premium, it didn't really deliver when it came to health innovation or breakthrough functionality. No new blood pressure monitoring, no glucose tracking, no advanced body temperature version 2.0, nothing revolutionary on the health side, which left many users and reviewers saying that while the Series 10 looked amazing, it was basically a design refresh rather than a functional leap. That is exactly why all eyes are now on the Series 11, because this is where Apple finally looks ready to deliver something far more meaningful than just a facelift, and it's why the hype is sky high. At the very core of the Apple Watch series 11 sits its powerhouse upgrade, the S11 chip, which may sound like a routine annual bump in Apple's naming scheme, S7, S8, S9, S10. But insiders are pointing out that the S11 is more than just an incremental jump. It's actually a new architecture built from the ground up, designed to be more efficient, more scalable, and more tightly integrated with Apple's growing wearable ecosystem. In practical terms, what this means is that while you may not suddenly see raw performance doubling overnight, you will see a significant improvement in efficiency, and efficiency is everything in a smartwatch. The S11 will manage power consumption more intelligently, allowing smoother animations in watchOS 12 and even watchOS 13 down the line, while extending the overall software support lifespan of the device by potentially an extra year or two. But here's the real kicker that's generating excitement. Apple is pairing this S11 chip with a brand new, fully custom C1 modem, designed completely in-house by Apple engineers. For years, Apple Watches relied on third-party cellular chips like those from Qualcomm, but just as Apple did with the iPhone 16 series, they are now taking control of their destiny by creating their own modem that works seamlessly with their silicon. The implications are massive. First, battery life. The new custom modem is optimized for efficiency, and early whispers suggest that users can expect an extra couple of hours of daily use. Now, that might not sound revolutionary, but in real-world terms, if your watch normally conks out around 10 p.m., with the Series 11 it might push through to midnight or beyond, and that extra cushion makes a huge difference for people who rely on their watch for health tracking and overnight sleep monitoring. Second, 5G connectivity. Yes, for the very first time ever, the Apple Watch will support 5G cellular. Up until now, every Apple Watch has maxed out at 4G LTE, and with carriers shutting down 3G networks around the world, the time for 5G has arrived. Now, let's be clear. This isn't about streaming 4K Netflix on your wrist at lightning gigabit speeds. Instead, 5G on the Apple Watch is about stability, future-proofing, and unlocking new subtle but important use cases like smoother FaceTime, audio calls, faster syncing with iCloud services, real-time health data uploads during workouts or emergencies, and overall stronger connections as networks evolve. This is one of those under-the-hood upgrades that may not wow you on day one, but will prove invaluable over the lifespan of the device. But where the Series 11 could truly rewrite the narrative of what a smartwatch can do is in the field of health. Because if the leaks are accurate, we are finally getting blood pressure monitoring, a feature that has been the holy grail of smartwatch health tracking for years. Competitors like Samsung have experimented with it, but accuracy has been inconsistent, and medical professionals have been hesitant to endorse it. Apple's rumored approach involves a new sensor array on the underside of the Series 11, combining optical data with pressure-based algorithms to estimate systolic and diastolic blood pressure trends. Now, it's unlikely Apple will frame this as a direct replacement for a traditional medical cuff, but rather as a trending tool and an alert system. Imagine your watch being able to warn you if your blood pressure is steadily creeping higher, over weeks or months, or alerting you to sudden drops or spikes during exercise or sleep. For athletes, this could unlock a new dimension of workout analytics, showing how cardiovascular strain responds to intensity. For people with conditions like hypertension, it could be a life-saving early warning system, giving you a nudge to check in with your doctor before problems escalate. And when you pair this with Apple Intelligence, the new AI suite baked into iOS 18 and watchOS 12, you start to glimpse the real future of wearables. AI-driven preventative healthcare right on your wrist. Your watch could notice patterns of stress, elevated blood pressure during late-night work sessions, or anomalies during sleep, and then proactively suggest actions like breathing exercises, hydration, or even scheduling a medical check. This isn't just a gadget anymore. It's a guardian. And when you zoom out, what's truly fascinating about the Apple Watch Series 11 is how it positions itself within Apple's broader ecosystem and against its competition. The Ultra 3 will appeal to rugged adventurers, the SE 3 will give budget-conscious buyers a solid entry point, but the Series 11 has to be the balanced middle child, delivering enough design elegance, technical performance, and health innovation to satisfy the vast majority of users. By giving us the S11 chip, the custom C1 modem, future-proof 5G, subtle but meaningful design refinements, and potentially the holy grail of blood pressure monitoring, Apple is positioning the Series 11 not just as an incremental update, but as a true leap forward in the wearable category. Rival brands like Samsung, Garmin, and Fitbit might be innovating with things like body composition analysis, advanced sleep algorithms, or multi-week battery life, but none of them can match Apple's ecosystem integration. For iPhone users, the seamless pairing, the deep ties into Apple Fitness Plus, Health app, Apple Pay, iCloud, and now Apple Intelligence create an all-in-one lifestyle device that no competitor can replicate. The Series 11 is not just a watch. It's the anchor point of Apple's health-first, AI-driven future. And that's why, as we head into this September, the excitement, the anticipation, and the stakes are higher than ever before.